Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to this beautiful program, Attain Happiness and Peace through Bhagavad Gita and meditation. We all want to be happy and in peace. And Bhagavad Gita offers us. And through meditation, why we do the meditation at the end of each session? Because whatever we learn, whatever it goes into our conscious mind, it goes to subconscious mind. And through meditation, it lasts longer. Otherwise, it comes from one ear to other ear, goes out. So ek kaan se aaya, ek kaan se chala gaya. But with the meditation, it stays there. And that's the reason we always do meditation at the end. And as you know, the purpose of and the goal of our study group is to practice of the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. You hear many people, many sons, many programs on Bhagavad Gita, but at the same time, it's difficult to remember all that, what they said. And I hear it all the time. People say, oh, sabhi to yahi bolte hain. Kuch farak to padta nahi hai. Yeah, because we do not practice it. Just like somebody gives you the recipe, and if you don't practice it, then what would happen? Similarly, you have to practice it. And as Swami Hariharji Maharaj Ji said, the Gita is an answer to all those seeking enlightenment on the various problems of life. So whatever problems we have, Gita answers all. And here is again Guruji's picture. You can see it here. With his blessings, his guidance, I have a special pranam to him. Especially this is a week of now the Guru Purnima. And he is the one who guided me, asked me to read Bhagavad Gita, write the books, and with his blessings, with his guidance, whatever I do about Bhagavad Gita, it is all his blessings. And today's program is Awaken Your Guru Within. You might be wondering, what does it mean? Gurus are outside. How can you awaken the Guru within? Basically, know yourself. We all have the Guru within. Let me just go to one more thing here. So that way it. So that today's program will talk about what is Guru. What is the difference between a regular Guru, regular teacher and a Guru? The roles of Guru in our life and attributes of Gurus, which is very, very important to know that. And how to find your Guru. And what does Gita offer? And then again, how to awaken Guru within myself. And of course, we will do the meditation and question and answers. So who is Guru? Actually, this Guru word has come from Upanishad. Guru. Gu means the ignorance, the darkness. And Ru means the light. Who removes our ignorance, our darkness, our doubts, confusions, answers our questions, is our Guru. So anybody who takes us toward the wellness of human beings, wellness of us, and also help others, Sarva Bhut Hite Rata. And how can we improve ourselves? How can we get rid of all of anger and greed and disappointments? Guru is the one which helps us answers it. And that is the Guru is. So Guru brings the light of the understanding through which the ego, our insatiable desires, worldly desires का कोई अंत नहीं है. And Guru is the one which guides us how to put the leash on our desires, fulfill our expectations in this world. But what are those expectations? How we can limit our expectations? Anipeksha suchir dakshi, it says in Gita. Again, leash on our expectation. We expect too much from ourselves and others. And Gita teaches us how to put the leash on our expectations. And Guru guides us. And here you can see the beautiful picture of sun. It's the analogy of Guru and sun. As sun gives the light and do not expect anything back, similarly, true gurus guides us without any expectations or selfish desires. So difference between guru and teacher. This is a long list of it, but mainly it is, let me just, a teacher mainly teaches us how to have the worldly knowledge, basically prepares us with our professional knowledge, with how to sometimes build our career, but basically they teach us the worldly knowledge and prepares us for good jobs. But the true guru prepares us our salvation, our liberation, how to live in peace and anandam. That's what the true guru is. Although it is a long list and it says, a teacher sends us on the road of success. A guru sends you on the road of freedom. A teacher is an instructor, but guru is a constructor. A teacher shows you the way to prosperity. A guru it shows you how to live in serenity. Guru teaches you about your soul, but teacher will teach you about your mind, our logistical things in this world. But Guru is it teaches us how to build our relationship properly in this world with ourselves and with others. So Guru is the one which guides us to live in love, peace, and anandam. And the teacher will teach us how to live in prosperity, make more money, have more education. So what does a teacher do? The role of Guru. And this Vivekananda said it so beautifully. And also I put it here, Paramahansaji. Many of you might know him for his autography, very big saint. He says, only a master who knows God may rightly teach you and others about him. We have a question, who is Bhagwan? Who is God? But Guru teaches you that God is present every moment in your life. With every breath, The breath we are taking, that is the form of God. When we have energy to speak, walk, talk, think, that is all energy of God. You see the birds flying. This is all his prakriti, his creation. So God is in, वो कहते हैं कण कण में भगवान है, क्षण क्षण में भगवान है. और Guru helps us to realize that. So what are the hallmarks of Guru, attributes, qualities of Guru? You know, this is a very big question. But again, I put the analogy here. The Guru who is totally selfless, he should understand the spirit of scriptures. Also, he must have a pure character, free from all the undoing, or what you say, sin, which we call it. Should be selfless, without desires for money, fame. Yes, Swami Vivekananda ji's quotes. Gurus are numerous at lamps, it is says, in every house, but difficult to find a guru who lights every like a sun. So it's very hard to find that. But, and I'm speaking about the external gurus, because there are two types of gurus. One is the external guru, you see them many, but the internal guru is with only one, and that is within us. So Guru have an extraordinary power. You know, sometimes you will see Guru have a very extraordinary power. Sometimes you hear that my Guru just touched me on my forehead and I got so much vibrations. This is all the sign of powerful energy of the Gurus. Gurus have a very powerful aura. They can actually, true Gurus, when you go and sit and talk to them, before even you open your mouth, they can read your mind. That what questions or what doubts you have. I can give you a good example. And many times I give a talk, and this will happen to me in Rishikesh a lot. I had a 1 week Gita's Parvachan on the bank of Ganga. And there were like 99% people were from different countries, all were foreigners. And people came back to me and they said, you answer my this question, you answer my this question. And actually, I did not know I was answering their questions, because the guidance were coming from the supreme power, because their question was coming to me through supreme power. And I was answering is through my body, but actually the supreme power was answering it. So when we are connected, when the Gurus are connected, they can read your mind. And many Gurus I have heard, they travel astrically. In other words, they physically, they might be sitting at one place, but they could show up in many, many different places. You might have heard that. So Gurus have a lot of power, but Gurus are basically a very light, enlightened people who have, you know, very pure soul, I would say. So hallmarks of liberated person, they are basically free from all. I say 5 + 2 enemies: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, jealousy and resentment. They are free from, most of them they are free from. But we have to also make sure that we know that Gurus are still in a human body. So they have some slight of these things also. So we should not be judging them that, oh, this Guru behaves this way, ye Mahatma ji aise hai, ye Sant aise hai, kaise Sant hai, kaise baat karte hain. And I used to get that question myself. People used to tell me all the time, कि आप तो गीता के preacher हो, आप तो गीता के हो, then how do you behave? Why do you get angry? Why do you get upset? And I said, because first of all, anger is 3 types: Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic. So if I am angry with get angry on my children, that's some for their good reasons. But if I am getting angry with somebody because somebody upset me, that is my Rajasic nature. But Tamasic nature, Sattvic anger is not bad. We have to discipline ourselves and others. We have to have control our mind and help others as well. And sometimes when you are even in organizations or doing some projects, and then some situations come, you have to raise your voice. Does not mean, and that's what the gurus do. But sometimes people judge them, and that is, we have to be very careful about that. So question comes here that what kind of seeker I am, because we all should be devotee, we all should be seekers for our self-salvation, apna moksha, wellness. But the Gita describes it very beautifully that there are 4 types of devotees. 4 तरह के devotee हैं और seekers हैं. And what are those? So very first one, when somebody is in really distress, when they are in really vishad, they do, जब वो कहते हैं ना संसार के दरवाजे बंद हो जाते हैं, लगता है कि अब कुछ भी नहीं, so then we seek for a guru and we get help from them. So some people are look for, when they are in really distress, that's the time they look for gurus, which is not bad, because Arjun को भी कृष्ण भगवान जी के दर्शन तभी हुए थे when he was in Vishad, and that's where the Lord Krishna had given him the wisdom. So that is the one type of devotee. Other one is who wants to know about God, wants to learn more about it, जैसे कि हम लोग हैं. The other one is people want to go to gurus so they can teach them how to make more money, how to make more prosperity. And the fourth one is looking for only for salvation and how to attain more peace and be happy and feel that I am Satchitananda. I am no different than God. That, and Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that devotee, the one who looks for only salvation, how to attain, how to feel कि I am God, I am Guru. Within Guru, Guru की आवाजें अंदर से आती हैं. How can they get connected with God? Those are the devotees are the most dear to me. So the wise who are on this path is the best devotee and most dear to God. So how to find my Guru? And I put a sum here, very beware of fake gurus. आजकल बहुत ऐसे गुरु हो गए हैं. You know, they can misguide you. They are more for own selfish reasons. Their brand name and fame, and want to build a big ashrams and have a big names and all that. So we have to be very careful about those gurus. But finding a genuine guru is very, very important in our life. So choose your guru very carefully. As we choose our doctors, counselors, lawyers, we are very careful. We do a lot of research on them. Similarly, and of course, ultimately, when you sit with your guru, you will feel the aura, that what kind of vibrations do you get from that person. Then you will also realize, know that what kind of person he is. But you know, Arjun, you know why I said it, be a seeker, be a Arjun, because when Arjun truly became a seeker, that's the time Lord Krishna appears to him in the form of God. Otherwise, he was his friend. So generally, read Guru will show you, you do not find a Guru will find you. That is so true. And I can give you my example. I had looked for all those gurus, and we are, as I said in my previous slide, had the question that ask yourself कि मैं कैसा disciple हूँ? What kind of disciple I am? What kind of bhakta I am? Am I looking for some time to spend with my guru? Am I using my guru as a filler? Because gurus are not the substitute for parents or spouse or when we are lonely. Gurus are there to hold our hands. And we go to gurus, and I have been with gurus, I think, for all of my life. And I did go just to sit with them, enjoy my time with them, just hear them, what they talk about it. And I enjoyed that. But when I was in distress, Guru were my first place to go. I tried other people, but I did not feel comfortable there, did not succeed. But when I start with staying with Gurus, going and discussing my issues with Guru, I was guided properly. So there is nothing wrong to go to discuss your problems with your Guru. But at the same time, we should not just go and just talk about our problems. We should also ask Guru, how can I move to higher level in my conscious? How can I uplift myself and uplift my conscious level where I am more connected with God? So भगवान से रिश्ता कैसे जोड़ें, ये गुरु हमको बहुत अच्छे से बताते हैं. So we should also look for that. And that ultimately, but we should use Guru for everything. I feel like. जैसे कि आप देखिए ना, गुरुद्वारे में जाते हैं, गुरु नानक जी से सारे, वही उनका गुरु ग्रंथ साहब ही उनके गुरु नानक जी हैं. This is what I similar says. Gita is my ultimate guru, just like Guru Granth Sahib. But ultimately, God is the highest guru. But the key here is faith and surrendering. And when we have a surrender and faith in God, God will send us the gurus. And I can tell you that I had the physical gurus, but some gurus appeared in my life, like Satya Sai Baba. I did not know him. He started coming in my dreams. And finally, I found, later on, I looked for him. I said, who is this fellow coming in my dreams? And finally, I found out he was Satya Sai Baba. Sometimes many other gurus come in and they just look for us. But it's not just the gurus come. God will send the people to solve our physical problems also. And I can share a good example with you. When I was writing a very first book, My Question and God's Answers, at one time, I did not save my data, and all of a sudden my computer got turned off. And I lost all the data. When I turned it on, I couldn't find it. And it was my 2 days, a whole day's work. And all of a sudden, on our door, we had an IT person in our office. He comes there. And I say, how come you are Dinesh? How come you are here? He says, oh, I came here for some reason at home. And actually he was expert. So he saved all of my data. He showed me how to retrieve my data, which I didn't know. Now I know, but at that time I did not know that. So what I'm saying is, whenever there is a situation, God will send somebody for us. So God comes in many forms, not just कि सिर्फ वो बांसुरी बजाते हुए ही आएंगे. So why to have Guru in our life? That question also comes. And in Sikhism, it says Meri Peri. But also in Upanishads, it says, and Bhagavad Gita, it says, attain this transcendental knowledge from a self-realized person. एक गुरु से ही सीखो ये knowledge. By humble reverence, asking very humbly, sincerely inquiring, question कीजिए. Ask the question if you have any doubts. And of course, by selfless service. The selfly realized soul, the Guru, will teach you that wisdom. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that look for Guru. Go to Guru for this wisdom, because we don't know many things. And sometimes we think we know, but there are higher knowledge, wise people or gurus who can even take us to jump start to next level. And then again, as Sanjay said, you all know the story of Bhagavad Gita, that Sanjay was given a wisdom and vision, divine Jyoti, to see the whole Kurukshetra war, just sitting in the palace and describing it to Dhritarashtra. पूरा धृतराष्ट्र को बता रहे थे कि युद्ध में क्या क्या हो रहा है. So, but उसके गुरु की कृपा से, so he says that here, कि गुरु व्यास जी की कृपा से I got this divine wisdom, divine vision, where I could describe the war to Dhritarashtra. So one must have a spiritual guru. That's what I be in many forms, as I said. It could be your Bhagavad Gita. It could be your Guru Granth Sahib, which is for Sikhism. But in Hinduism, we have many gurus, but those are the external gurus. But it could be only our internal guru, or Bhagavad Gita, which is also external guru. So here I put the external guru. Seeking for advice, go to external gurus. Nothing wrong with that. But relationship with guru and shishya is very, very important. And that relationship is nothing but faith. Have a faith in your guru. Do not judge your guru. Once you select your guru, you must not doubt your guru or his or her advice. And also just surrender. जैसे कि अर्जुन ने यहाँ बोला, he recognized he was in very difficult situation. He could not make his own decision. He was in Vishad, and he tells Lord Krishna, Karpanye dosho pahit swabhava. I am at the stage where I cannot think straight, and I surrender to you. So Karpanye dosho pahit swabhava. Paschami tvam dharma sammurcheta. Yachasai syani nichitam brumi. Tanme shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapanyam. मैं तुम्हारा शिष्य हूँ. I surrender to you because I cannot think straight right now. My mind, my buddhi is not functioning right now. So I'm asking you to tell me what is the best for me. But here, until now, Arjun was Bhagwan Krishna के friend थे, सखा थे. But now he became his disciple. That's why he said, I surrender to you and please tell me. So he fully started believing in him, had faith in him. But also the inner guru, that's the external guru. He had a Krishna Bhagwan ji external guru, bahar the wo guru. But we all have our inner guru. हमारे अंदर भी भगवान बैठे हैं, हमारे अंदर भी गुरु हैं. The key is we have to connect with them. So we all have an inner guru or inner voice. Inner guru comes to us in the form of inner voice that guide us exactly what to do, where to go. And that's why I call Gita represents 3 G's. God, क्योंकि ये भगवान की voice है. गीता has come from the भगवान के मुख बिंद से आई है, जिसको कहते हैं मुखार बिंद से, उनके मुखार बिंद से गीता निकली है. गीता बाकी ग्रंथ जितने भी हैं, कोई ऋषियों के डाउनलोड किया है उन्होंने information when they got connected, but Gita is the one which came directly from Lord Krishna's mouth. So to me, it gives me answers for all. इसीलिए Gita is the wisdom, that gyan, that guide which gives us to how to live in this world and how to not only live in this world, but how to awaken the guru within us. So who is my guru? Then question comes, who is my guru? We have many gurus in our life. Our parents are our first guru, friends. Krishna, of course, I call him, he's a Jagat Guru because his Gita guides everything. So to me, Gita and Krishna Bhagwan ji are my Jagat Guru. That's why I put Gita is my ultimate Guru, which is Jagat Guru. And Mother Nature, we learn from Prakriti, from nature. Nature is our Guru. And actually, in real sense, everything in our life is a Guru. Every moment, every conversation we have, if we really pay attention to, we could learn from every situation and every thing. As I always refer, if you just watch birds, how they love each other, how they build their own nest for their family and all that, they teach us a lot. But ultimately, Gita teaches everything, especially who I am. I am an Atma. I'm not just focused on body. I should not be just focusing on body. I should take best care of my body, but I should not spend too much time just taking care of my body. And of course, our mind, which shifts quite a bit. So, but this body has come to this world. God has given us this body. So where did this body come from? How, for what purpose this body has given to me by God? And then how can I make the best use of this body, this mind, this voice? गीता में बहुत अच्छे 3 वर्सेस हैं भगवत गीता में, चैप्टर 17, 14, 15, 16. And it says, Guru Pragya, गुरु की सेवा, प्राग्ञ, अहिंसा, ये सब हमको करना है. All those things, and then it is called शरीर तप उच्यते, शरीर का तप. Then वाणी का तप, अनुद्वेगकरम वाक्यम, we must speak sweetly. वाणी ऐसी बोलिए सबका भला हो. और कबीर जी तो उसको बहुत अच्छे से कहते हैं कि सबका मन शीतल हो, ऐसी वाणी बोलिए, ना कि किसी का ब्लड प्रेशर हम ऊपर नीचे करवाते रहें. So that is वाणी का तप. And then he says कि इस माइंड का तप करना है. मन सौम्यत्वम, मन को समता में रखना है. Don't just get very emotional. We have to have some self-discipline for our emotions. And also, how should be, our intention should be always clean. And if our intentions are clean, everything else will fall in the right place. So the 3 तप गीता में बहुत अच्छे कहे हैं. These are the practices we should do. Speak good, think good, see good, hear good, do good, and go to right places. Through that, and then of course, meditation, yoga, all those things, those spiritual practices we should do, then we will be so connected. We will be able to listen to our voice and feel our true nature. So again, in summary, Gita guides us. Gita teaches us how to go beyond our tamasic, rajasic, sattvic nature, triguni maya, and when and where to do what, why to do it, and how to do it. And if there are, again, I call it Gita is 3 Ds for me. It removes my doubts and confusions. It helps me to discriminate. Vairagya and Vivek. This is a very popular phrase in Hindu scriptures. And then how to make the decision. So Gita gives me the answers for everything. And it's not that it connects my head, my mind, my knowledge with my heart, compassion, forgiveness, and also all these, then it translates to in my hands, and then I am more capable of doing seva, which is a karma yoga. But it actually is a combination of all 3, is 3 H's, head, heart, and hand. And this is a karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and gyan yoga. So here I just looked at the pictorial here, this slide. See, you look at it, how on the right, it says the ultimate summary of Gita. Gita helps you to experience that I am Satchitananda. I am no different than God. I am that Guru awakens within me. I know who I am. And this is also called union with God or self-realization that who I am. But Gita takes us as like we are the Jeev Atma. Body is Jeev, Atma is, so we are together, so we are Jeev Atma. Gradually, by doing good karmas, we become Mahatma. And then then from Mahatma and Dharmatma, we connect with God. So we experience who I am. So basically it connects body, mind, and soul. And again, I put it here on the side. I don't know whether you can see it or not because it's quite a bit sunlight. But I have put all these things in 7 steps. But actually, you look at the here on the top, Arjun was so distressed. And he says, Karpanya dosho. I don't know what to do, what not to do. But here at the end, bottom one, here, look at that. He is ready to do, he's apna shankh baja rahe hain, and then he's marching, he's going for the perform his duty, and he's ready, and that's where he says, Nashto moha smrati labda, tvat prasadan maya yud. With your kripa, now my doubts are all gone. I am all clear what is my responsibility. I'm totally sit. I'm not emotional anymore. Sthito asmin. I'm totally sthit. I'm totally in samta, in equanimity with your kripa. And now, karishe vachanam tau, I can perform my duty. So his mind, his body, everything got aligned. And he had no more doubts. And similarly, when we don't have any more doubts and we are beyond our emotions, our body is so calm. It's just like a water in the lake. It's so calm. You can see all the way down to the bottom of the lake. Similarly, you can also experience your inner voice. You can hear it. You can feel it. You can experience it. So Lord Krishna, in summary, gives us 3 advices to Arjuna. And he tells him, Arjun, Nistray Guno Bhav Arjun. Arjun, you go beyond your Triguni Maya and then become a yogi. Yogi means go beyond limit your emotions, have a self-discipline in your life, live like a yogi. Yogi means, yogi doesn't mean you have to have a yellow, orange clothes and have the all kind of which is presented, because it's okay. It's their representation also, which is fine. But for people like us, Sansarik log, Grahastha ashram, we don't have to be, because Arjun was not a yoga. He was Kshatriya. So he was not asking him to change your clothes and wear the orange robes and go and sit in the ashrams or on Himalayas. He says, no, you should perform your duty. Similarly, we have to live like a yogi, but in the Grahastha ashram, wherever we are. And then how? Just live in the consciousness of God. And I say, how? Put your Om with every breath and it will take care of you. So we have to be Arjun, and we have to be like Arjun, go self-discipline, live like a yogi, and also we connect with supreme power with Om mantra. So just be a yogi. And then we can feel this peace within ourselves, anandam within ourselves, and then we can spread it to others. This is the purpose of our life. Inner anandam creates global peace and anandam. So we have to first create inner anandam, Satchit Ananda, experience it, that we are Satchit Ananda, live in that love, peace, anandam. So Gita, to me, is a path to anandam. And in next week, we will talk about this, start with 7 steps, very systematically in the summary of Bhagavad Gita, which takes us to next level. And this is what we'll be talking about it in 7 steps. But we will not talk about it today, but we will just go, and since it is a Guru Purnima's week, I like to acknowledge more gurus in our life. And I'm sure we have all those gurus like parents, siblings, brothers, sisters, whoever came in our life and guided us. As I say, kan kan mein, chan chan mein. So we should just sit down now